to Around the Kitchen Table with Happy Herbs.
My name's Rochelle. I'm a certified herbalist and the owner and founder of Happy Herbs.
And my name is Jordanna, and I am a life coach and therapist. Almost therapist.
So today we are going to be talking about hormones.
Yes.
Because that has been a really big topic in the health world lately. And
yes, girls.
So many people are dealing with hormonal imbalances, which, lead to messed up cycles, pain, infertility, amongst so many other things. So
can we touch on, I don't know how you want to start, but something that is very interesting when you came in the house today. You were like, Joe, I'm so proud of you because when I knew you, you used to wear a lot of fragrance. And now she's like, I'm so shocked. Like, you don't wear fragrance anymore. And I didn't really think about it because as I have been educated basically by you on fragrance, and then I guess just like taking fragrance out of my routine and using essential oils, I genuinely cannot go back.
Yeah.
Like thinking about the scent, I can't. Like I can't go back.
It's like smoking. It's like someone who smokes, because I used to smoke, but I used to smoke. And when you're smoking, when you're smoking, you like, and people around you, they're like, ugh, like it stinks. But to the smoker, you are enjoying it.
Really? You don't think it stunk when you
No, it didn't. But when I stopped smoking and I tried to smoke again, I was like, oh, like literally would throw up. It would actually make me sick. Like, and obviously being around cigarette smoke, disgusting. So I think people who use fragrance, which I used to use it too, right? You're so used to it. It's like what we talked about in a lot of the other podcasts about how that engine light is off.
Yes.
And so once you start to heal and you remove those toxins from your body and you have less of a load, it's like that engine light comes back on. And then now when you smell it, you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't handle this. Your body's telling you, it's more awake.
Oh, and my fiance like douses his cologne. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm like, literally stop. Like, don't come near me because it's so strong now. I can't. So, obviously, I'm on the journey where I've crossed over and I'm not using fragrance. But, my partner still has a way to go, and he's on his own journey, so he can do what he wants. But it's very strong and it's very hard to be around now. Even when I'm out, I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, this woman, like I can smell her from a mile away.
Oh my gosh,
it's strong.
yes.
Yeah.
I can't. I will I will leave a place if it's like I actually can't. Like there's been times where I've gotten to like a cab or an Uber and I'm like literally like a dog, head out the window, gonna throw up, nauseous. I literally cannot. And I think people sometimes don't take me seriously when I'm like, listen, like I can't do fragrance. Like it'll give me a headache, it'll make me feel sick. And they're like, but it's like if you walk into my house wearing fragrance, like you might as well light up a cigarette in my house because that's how intense it is.
Right. And I think to people it's probably perceived as just being nitpicky, but can you talk about how it affects the hormones?
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Fragrance in itself is a mystery word because when someone puts fragrance on an ingredient label, that gives them leeway to not have to actually tell you every ingredient that is within that fragrance. So fragrance could be literally like thousands of chemicals that they don't have to list and they can just put as fragrance because it's their secret ingredient.
Wow.
And fragrance, if you look at it under a microscope, it's very small and very sticky. Extremely sticky, and it disperses very easily.
How do you know that?
So I've watched videos of
like wow.
And so that's why when someone walks past you and you smell them and you can smell kind of like where they've walked,
it's like pheromones.
It's because it's like the fragrance that's on them, it's like constantly releasing and it's just like flying in the air and then it's sticking onto everything around that person. And that's why the fragrance is so terrible because it's like it's not just kept to yourself when you wear it. You are giving it to so many other people. There's been times where I'm around someone who's wearing heavy fragrance and I can taste it in my mouth and I know like, man, this fragrance is in my mouth. Or someone holds my child and it's like you get them back and they just reek and I've washed them, I've bathed them and I can still smell it. Or even as a mom, you get hand-me-downs and the person used fragrance in their laundry and you wash the clothes and now all your clothes smell like fragrance. Like
for days.
It is hard to get out. It is very sticky. So imagine what that's like in your body, okay? Because if it's hard to wash out of clothes and get off of, your skin amongst other things, like it is not easy to remove from the body as well. And when we receive fragrance in the body, our body actually sees it as synthetic estrogen. And so,
like just females or males too?
Males too can cause.
Why is it synthetic estrogen and not?
Because it converts to that in the body, converts to like a synthetic estrogen. And so obviously like too high of estrogen in any form, synthetic or non-synthetic, is not good. And can cause a host of issues. Almost every hormonal issue is usually due to high estrogen, because when you have high estrogen, everything else goes havoc. So if someone's like, oh, I have high testosterone, it's like, well, you probably have high estrogen that caused your testosterone to go high, because it's like your body's trying to figure out how can we balance it. And so things go off, and that may look different for everybody. So what happens when you have a high amount of synthetic estrogen in your body is, well, you would hope that you can get it out. And a lot of the times it's through the gut. That's why you always want to be taking herbs that are going to help remove estrogen from the body, like dandelion, any sort of diuretic. But if the body cannot properly eliminate the estrogen, what it will do is it'll take it, and this is with any toxin, it'll store it as a fat cell and it'll hide it somewhere in the body so it doesn't hurt you, right? Because the body's smart. So it will store it in the back of the arms as fat, and the thighs as fat, and in the stomach area as fat. So some people, they struggle with weight issues, and they might be doing everything right. And usually a lot of the times it's because their body has actually stored all of these toxins and all of these, synthetic estrogens in fat cells and tucked them away in the body. If you look like 50 years ago or more, and you see people who are overweight, it's very rare that you see cellulite. You'll see like these they're nice and plump, but they're smooth.
Oh.
They're smooth, right? Even the people who are overweight, they're a lot smoother. Now, when you see a lot of overweight people, you'll see a lot of cellulite. And that is an indication of toxins being stored in fat cells and being put away. And that's why I'll bring this up quickly, but that's why it's so important that when you're doing certain types of fasting or people who are, inappropriately fasting, in order to lose weight, what can happen is your body might start to eat its fat cells. And if it starts to eat the toxic ones, that can be very dangerous to a person's health. And I'll go even further. I actually did a study with this homeopath in the States when I was studying homeopathy. And she was talking about certain babies that were born with failure to thrive. And a lot of the times when she would treat these babies, she would end up finding out that the mothers of these babies had really bad nausea during pregnancy, that they couldn't keep food down. They were constantly throwing up. And so because they were constantly throwing up and weren't getting any nutrients, their body started eating the toxic fat cells and then giving that to the baby. And so that's why, it's crazy stuff. And anyways, the moral of the story was, Cal-Carb was a really great remedy to help with failure to thrive in infants.
What's that?
Cal-Carb is a homeopathic remedy that matches a certain symptom picture of what they call failure to thrive. Which failure to thrive is usually like babies who literally are just having a hard time thriving and being healthy. They're having issues, right? So anyways, saying that, fragrance and toxins, and including, pesticides, all of those things are so dangerous for our hormones. And in the last podcast, we talked about detoxing, and that's why it's so important to detox, because hormones is one of those things that is going to help us, hormones is one of the things that it's going to help, not like get out of havoc if we are constantly detoxing. So, yeah.
So do hormones affect the gut?
They can. Hormones can give a host of different expressions in each body. So some person could have hormone issues, and they could have gut issues, or they could have issues with, fertility, or they could have issues with energy, or they could have issues with weight, or like it can show up in so many different ways. It depends on how you are as an individual. That's why I really love homeopathy, because homeopathy, it's always treating the symptoms, because two people could have the exact same issue, but have completely different symptoms. Right. Yeah. And so me and you could be dealing, let's say, with a hormone imbalance, but we could have completely different remedies that we need for our specific body, because we are not black and white. Right. But in regards to, herbs and not homeopathy, like we know that red raspberry leaf is a really good herb to help balance the hormones. We know that dandelion is really good for helping to get any excess estrogen out of the gut. Okay. Yarrow works as like a natural like progesterone. Okay. That's a really good herb as well for hormones. Even rose petals are really good for balancing the hormones, as well as ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is really good for fertility and for balancing the hormones as well in men and women. It's really good for sperm mobility and just for sperm count. As well as, reduces cortisol and helps with stress and sleep and anxiety and all of those different things. So there are a lot of things that we can do, and there are a lot of things that we can take, but the starting point is, guys, throw your fragrance in the damn garbage.
Can you let's elaborate? Like we're not talking about, oh, you have a perfume bottle. First of all, soaps are fragrance. Yeah. Detergents are fragrance. Yeah. What is not fragrance? Like there's so many things you can. I had so many other things I was thinking about.
Like what hair products?
Oh, hair products.
Shampoo, conditioner,
hairsprays.
Like your face moisturizer, skincare. It's in everything. It's crazy. I don't know why we need to do this.
It's because, so if you get like a moisturizer or a body butter that says like shea or vanilla, like do you really think there's like vanilla? No, like it's all synthetic.
My vanilla is vanilla, guys. So.
Right.
But yes, of course. Yeah. It's like, are we supposed to smell like cotton candy? Like what? Even strawberry. Like strawberries doesn't smell like the synthetic strawberry that. Yeah. And you even have to be careful when people put things that like they'll put like, for example, like natural vanilla like extract, or like you have to be careful because they can hide fragrance in like other words. So you really have to read your ingredients very carefully. And even some essential oils, they might put essential oil blend on some sort of product, but what essential oils are they using? Does that have fragrance? Because a lot of essential oils, unfortunately, have fragrance. Right. So you need to be mindful of what essential oils that you're using, and you need to be, asking these companies, taking that step. Honestly, that's where we are in life, is taking that step and being like, hey, what is in this, and get them to be transparent. But ultimately, you just want to find companies that are just transparent for what it is, like doTERRA, right? Yeah. Because, their stuff is clean. I personally will buy a lot of unscented products and then just add doTERRA to it. Yeah. Like for my shampoo and conditioner, unscented, add rosemary.
So what are you buying that's unscented?
So I actually will either get like doTERRA shampoo and conditioner. Okay. They have a lot of good products when it comes to skincare and hair. Or there's this one product that I get Goodness Me called Karina Organics, and they're really clean, and they have unscented items, right? And I'll add the essential oils to that. Same with any face wash, everything. Like I just add my own essential oils, even with laundry, unscented, and then I'll just add some lavender to it, right? Okay. And obviously it's not going to be potent like fragrance. For sure. You're not going to be like walking by and smelling like so much lavender, but it's just a nice little hint, right? And so, ultimately, we really need to be getting rid of fragrance wherever we can. And if we really want those nice smells, just switch to high quality essential oils. And also be mindful with like the cleaning stuff that you use, right? Like cleaners, that's a whole nother.
Even there's so many brands that say natural, organic, or clean.
But what does that mean, right?
You have to look at the ingredients. Because honestly, you can make your own cleaning products. Yeah. You need vinegar, baking soda, distilled water. Yeah. There's so many ways, borax. Yeah. And that does the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I grew up with, like, my family uses pine salt. They love it. Oh. It's so strong. Oh. It works though, but it's strong.
I know it does work, but
I have that smell like just.
Well, if you really want something that's really strong, you can use hydrogen peroxide. That's what we use, and hydrogen peroxide is like a really good natural like lightening agent or bleaching agent. And so I'll use that to clean the bathrooms. Okay. But you can also even put a little bit into your whites and it'll help brighten your clothes. You can use it for so many different things. So if you really want that strength, then you can always do hydrogen peroxide with some distilled water, put some essential oils in that for like tough cleaning, bathroom cleaning. And then just for like everyday cleaning, I literally use vinegar, water, and essential oils. Mix it up, you know. So one day it's lemon, one day it's lavender, one day it's eucalyptus, and
eucalyptus.
So cheap too. Yeah. Like you save so much money.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Okay, well let's end off on the note of wild yam. Can you talk to me about it?
Yes, wild yam. Okay, wild yam is good for men and women. So wild yam, I have had a lot of consultations with women in regards to their hormones, and all of the herbs that I recently mentioned, of course, like that's always my recommendation for taking those. But wild yam, when you add that in the mix, everything complements each other really, really well. Wild yam, what it does is it helps to pretty much balance the hormones in whatever that specific body needs. So if you have too much testosterone in your body, it's going to lower that. It's going to like heighten your progesterone, whatever that balance needs.
Right.
If you have too much estrogen, it's going to lower that. It's going to increase your progesterone. So it really works on an individual basis. And I have seen it do wonders on men and women. I have seen people suffer with their cycles and with fertility for years, and then they start taking wild yam and they start taking the other herbs and they are a new woman. Wow. You know, like their fertility comes back, they can carry children, they feel better, their bone density is better, you know, because it helps with osteoporosis as well.
Wow.
I have seen men take wild yam as well, and it's also good for brain function. It's good for circulation. It's good for inflammation. Like I said, bone density. And a lot of men actually will take wild yam as a natural, what's it called? What's the thing that they inject themselves with? And
crack? I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Bodybuilders, that they inject themselves with.
No, I don't know.
What the heck is it called?
Steroids.
Thank you.
I'm like crack. I'm kidding, guys. Just kidding. I'm just trying to be funny.
Well, it is like crack. So, so a lot of men have been using it as a natural steroid and like going to the gym, and it's helping them bulk because it's increasing their testosterone, because a lot of men have low testosterone and high estrogen because of all of these environmental factors, including our water.
I was just going to say including our water,
because a lot of women on birth control, they're peeing into the water. It's getting like, there's so many things, right? And
and then it's getting recycled.
So there,
did you guys hear that? I don't think
there's studies
really heard
on
what you just said. There are women on birth control who are peeing. It's getting flushed down the toilet and recycled. And men are drinking it. Does that make you think about the water you drink? I have no words.
Filter your water.
And so not with a brighter filter, right? It doesn't work.
You need like a high quality, filtration system.
Such as what you use.
I use Berkey. I really like the Berkey. There's a lot of controversial, stuff going on with Berkey right now. There's a lawsuit going on because pretty much, they have a lot of competitors and they are being accused that their black Berkey filters don't work. But apparently the person who was suing them actually like got a fake one like off Amazon or something and was like going off of that. And so they lost that case, and then they tried to bring it back up right now. And so now they're fighting with them against the fact that they do like internal testing and they want like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. That's another.
Back to wild yam as being a steroid.
So anyways, the heavy metals in water, all of those things, like testosterone levels are extremely down. It's insane. So it's good for men too. I can honestly say I put my husband on it. And he started going to the gym after that. And like, in like 2 weeks, I was like, yo, like he literally like gained weight, like got more muscle, like started bulking. I was like,
did he notice?
Yeah, he noticed. I was like, hey, like,
did he know it was because of the wild?
Yeah, he knew. So he's been taking that along with ashwagandha. That's a really good blend for men. Wild yam and ashwagandha, they work really well.
In a pill form or tea?
I give it in tincture.
Okay.
Yeah, because I make it, right? So he takes it in tincture, and then I give him nettle every day too, and dandelion, because that's really good.
In a tincture?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we always do tinctures. It's easiest. Unless you want to drink like 15 teas a day, tinctures are always going to be the strongest, and they're going to extract different properties than a tea will, because not every herb is water soluble. So you can put an herb into water, and like only the properties that are water soluble are going to be extracted. Some herbs, like they need the alcohol to extract the properties. So you're going to get different properties and more properties from a tincture than you are from any sort of like infusion.
Okay. That's very, very good to know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. And then for women, right, it's remarkable. But I think we have to remind ourselves that nothing is like, you're not going to take this for a month and then be a whole new person. You probably will start feeling better. But if your hormones are extremely, messed up, you're going to be needing to do this regimen for like a year.
Right.
You might start seeing a different within 3 months, right? But there has to be consistency. And I feel that we always need to be doing things for our hormones, because we are always being exposed to these toxic chemicals that, convert to synthetic estrogen within the body. So it's very important. I know for myself, like I take raspberry leaf tincture every single day.
Yep.
I take dandelion every single day. Ashwagandha, it's always best to take it like Monday to Friday, take weekends off. That's the best way to take ashwagandha. It works best that way. So I'll do it Monday to Friday, weekends off. And then yarrow and rose, I kind of like incorporate here and there.
Okay.
But wild yam, I take every single day as well. And I actually just added wild yam to Happy Herbs, because it's been so difficult to find wild yam, because everybody knows it works now. And so they're selling out everywhere. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, especially Anna's wild yam cream. Everyone wants it. It's hard to get. It's an Australian product. And so I was recommending it to a lot of my customers, but it was just difficult to get and it's expensive. So I'm like, you know what, Kate, I got to start making this. So I have now started making wild yam tincture and instead, and hoping that, it's more accessible now for people.
But does it work just as effective?
Oh, it's just as effective. Absolutely. Because when people are making wild yam cream, one thing to always look out for is, if you are buying a wild yam cream, always make sure that it's made with alcohol, because the properties will not be extracted if it is not made with alcohol. And there's a lot of wild yam creams out there that are not made with alcohol. It's not the same. So either you got to get a high quality tincture, or you got to get a cream that's made with alcohol. But either way, both work beautifully.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that's a lot. That's great information. Is that part of the new hormone balance bundle?
Yes. So I actually changed my hormone balance bundle. So before I was giving a lot of individual tinctures and I didn't have the wild yam in there. So I have now included wild yam, and I've actually made a hormonal blend now of, I believe it's dandelion, yarrow, rose petal. No, it's not dandelion. Sorry. It's rose petal, red raspberry leaf, yarrow, and ashwagandha. It's a blend of those, and then I do nettle and dandelion in a blend, and then the wild yam on its own, and then I have the oil, which involves specific essential oils that you rub on the abdomen every day, and that also helps with just balancing the hormones.
Okay.
Right? Clary sage is a really good one as well. That's specific. If you just wanted to pick one oil, I would say clary sage.
Okay.
Really great for balancing the hormones, but do not use if you're pregnant, because it can cause uterine contractions.
Oh.
Yeah. So you don't want to, have a miscarriage, right?
No.
It probably wouldn't happen, but like it could if you were sensitive. So clary sage, no when you're pregnant. But when you're giving birth, clary sage is great because it'll help increase contractions and get that baby out quicker.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Rochelle, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. It's always a pleasure to hear all the wisdom that you have.
Thanks.
And this topic on hormones, we could talk about like for days.
Yeah.
And I
it's
think
complex.
It is complex. And I think that if you are listening at home and there's a lot of things that resonated with you, I'm going to give you a call to action. I'm going to say, go to Rochelle's page and comment in her DM. Say, tell her if you want to hear more about hormones, and give us specific questions that you have so that we can do a part 2 of this, and then we can actually follow up and answer your questions and really equip you guys in this arena, because there's a lot. There's
a lot, and everyone's so individual. So I think that answering people's questions could definitely be helpful. And I also do a segment in my e-course on hormones too. I talk about it in depth. So if anyone, has my e-course, like that is in there, it's coming up. So you can wait for it there.
if they're trying to get your e-course, how can they access it?
So you just go to www.happyherbs.ca and then you'll see it right on the front page. And then it's also in the tab.
And it's in the tab on your Instagram page?
My website is on the tab on my Instagram page, right? And once you go to my website, it'll be right there.
It'll be there. Okay.
Yep. I make it very simple.
And what is your Instagram handle for those listeners?
At Happy Herbs, HAPPIHERBS.
I love that. Well, guys, you heard it first. Go to Happy Herbs to get all of your natural remedies that you need to help balance your hormones and to help you thrive and live your best healthy life.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's great. Okay. I love it.
And until next time, please join us around the kitchen table with Happy Herbs and enjoy the rest of your day, evening, weekend, whenever you're listening to this. We're so happy to have you be a part of this family. Yes. So we will talk to you very soon.
Yes. God bless.
God bless.